I'm Kate Jenkins and I was the Australian Sex Discrimination Commissioner from 2016 to 2023. The Respect at Work report came at a really important time, at a time when our community and individuals were crying out for change.
The voices of many.
No more! Enough is enough!
The Me Too movement was something that galvanised action.
I don't think there's a woman that you would talk to who hasn't been sexually harassed or knows someone that has been in the workplace.
We heard so many testimonies, just that repeated story of unwelcome conduct at work and the impacts it had on individuals. And they most uniformly said that they wanted to speak because they wanted to make sure this didn't happen to other people.
It was time for that public discussion. Women had kept it to ourselves largely, and so Respect at Work, the timing was right.
This was not an isolated problem, that it wasn't a few bad apples behaving badly in workplaces. It was systemic, it was structural, and we needed to have much stronger laws and much stronger rights.
1 in 3 Australian workers had experienced sexual harassment in the previous 5 years. It told us that the complaints-based system that had been in place in Australia since 1984 wasn't working. It was focusing on what you do after the wrong had happened, and that we needed to move towards prevention.
That was a huge cultural shift, a huge practical shift, and I think the biggest achievement out of the changes.
But if it can happen in Parliament House, it can truly happen anywhere.
Brittany Higgins is an example of one of the many people who spoke out.
It galvanised many others to say, well, it's not just Parliament House in Canberra, it's my workplace, it's my story, it's my sister's story, my mum's story, my grandmother's story.
Kate Jenkins' report, Respect at Work, is a game changer.
55 recommendations are either agreed, wholly in part or in principle.
Since the reforms have been enacted, there's been an absolutely transformational change in the legal sphere. The dial has changed for the way that we consider sexual harassment disputes. We don't look at them anymore as individual remedies, like a workplace dispute between one person and another. The Respect at Work reforms helped us change that positioning and helped us think of it as a collective problem.
The Respect at Work framework is realistic because it understands that Australians are different and we have intersecting identities. But I think there's work to do. There needs to be a reckoning, and we need to name First Nations women and gender diverse people have been the objects of sexual violence from the day of colonisation. And of course that goes into workplaces.
It's such a significant piece of work that on its 40th anniversary, the Australian Human Rights Commission should be really proud of.
The time that I served as Sex Discrimination Commissioner has been the greatest honour of my career. I think Australia can be really proud of the work of the Commission and the fact that 40 years ago there were no sex discrimination laws. I am really confident that my daughter's future and her experience of gender equality will be significantly different to my mother's experience. And for that, I'm really grateful and proud of the work, the consistent work over 40 years.